Hey, listen up. We got another episode of Wise Kracks, featuring the crack man himself, Bill Krackomberger, and our co-host, John Orlando, straight from Las Vegas. Wise Kracks is your ticket inside the world of sports betting, with tips, picks, special guests, and more. Only on WSN.com.
Welcome back to another episode of Wise Kracks. John Orlando here with Mr. Bill Krackomberger in studio. Bill, we've got March Madness right around the corner.
Yes,
a lot going on.
Conference tournaments today. It's a big betting time of the year for a lot of people. March Madness is a little bit bigger in my eyes, but people do like to bet March Madness. I mean, to bet the conference tournaments too. So
we got a lot to talk about today. We have a great guest. We have Jason McIntyre from Fox Sports is coming in.
Yep.
Or I guess he'll be on Zoom.
He'll be on Zoom.
Yeah, and
he was on air with Colin Coward literally up until 45 minutes ago.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we'll hear from Jason, and before we get to him, we've got a lot to chop up. Let's just start with big topic number one.
This is a giant one everyone's talking about today.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar. You know, they offered him a lot of money last season. He turned it down.
Isn't it crazy how they're able to turn down?
His agent is not a typical agent. It's not like CAA. It's not like one of these big. It's a family member. So
that's dangerous, no?
It's dangerous.
It is,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Little dangerous?
It's a little dangerous. So what's weird is, so this is how it's going to go down. I guess the option is him talking to other teams, getting their best offer, taking it back to Baltimore and see if they match. If they don't match, he's going to go there.
Right.
This is a guy that's injury prone. That's a guy that, but I think about this. Would I want to have I think Aaron Rodgers is about 39. I don't know his age, but whatever, 39 or a kid like Lamar that is a maybe even franchise for the future. It's a really, I don't know. I probably want Lamar, but I want Lamar healthy. You know, I didn't like a couple of the shenanigans that happened at the end of the last season.
Yeah.
Said he wasn't healthy, didn't want to play. Maybe he didn't want to get hurt because he knew that this big, listen, they threw these big contracts out to these guys. You know what I mean? They gave, they gave three quarterbacks.
Yeah, Dak.
Wilson. Well, even Dak, you want to throw Dak in there, it's 4. I wasn't even counting him.
Oh.
They gave these guys hundreds of millions of dollars.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, so they gave these, and Murray, they gave these guys big Watson.
Right.
So, and if you want to do that, let's throw Dak in there too.
Yeah.
They gave these 4 guys, $150 million or plus.
Yeah.
Yesterday they gave Derek Carr $150 million.
With a lot of guaranteed money.
$100 million guaranteed.
Back in the day, there was no guaranteed money, which I think is crazy.
I guess if Carr's worth $100 million guaranteed, I guess Lamar is. So.
Is that what Carr got with the Saints?
Yes.
Come on.
$100 million guaranteed.
Oh, it's so crazy.
So that's what I read. It's a touchy situation here. I think that Baltimore is going to give him what he wants. I think the fans will get upset.
Yeah.
I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to give him what he wants. So
yeah, and if not him, then who?
Yeah, right.
Who are they going to get?
Right. So now you have the New York Jets, the owner, the coach, the offensive line coach. There was like GM. They all flew private in the owner's private jet from New York to California yesterday, and we're hanging out in Malibu with Aaron Rodgers. They want Rodgers. They wouldn't fly all the way over there.
That's a big name to get for the Jets. That would literally be a –
yeah.
I mean, it was a big deal when Brett Favre went there, obviously.
And let me tell you, the Jets are going to probably get him because I think Green Bay's done with him.
Yeah.
The future of the team, they drafted a quarterback number 1 a couple of years back. They haven't used him.
Right.
They used him a little bit on Green Bay, and he looked good a couple games he was in. So he's the future of the of the Green Bay Packers. So
you're not all hopping on private jets to not close that deal.
I agree. And by the way, the Jets are the number 1 bet team at DraftKings on their futures, according to our buddy and former guest on the show, David.
Did you throw a little something? No, you won't.
No.
I don't know if you remember, but like over the last 3 years on the show, I've been calling the Jets.
I know.
Just because they're underdogs and they're
still, listen, I go by Circa in town here, and Circa's pretty low. Circa's like 10-1 just to win the AFC. 10-1. I like to lay the no.
That's a little crazy.
I like to lay the 15-1 on the no.
But if they get him
18-1 to win the Super Bowl,
and they might get him. Sometimes at this, I know it's late in his career, but sometimes when you make a change like that, you feel like you got something to prove. It gives you a new life. It gives you new energy.
I like Rodgers.
Yeah,
speaks his mind.
Yeah,
I like him.
Yeah,
I'll take him over. I'll take him over Carr anytime. Put it that way. I will.
Yeah.
So
I think he's on an episode of Joe Rogan you might need to fire up.
Who?
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, wow.
It's about a year old, I think.
I like to see it.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on ESPN. Someone asked him why he wouldn't come on ESPN, you know.
Yeah.
Someone said, I have it on my phone.
Really?
Why wouldn't you go on ESPN? He goes, because the ESPN doesn't let you guys talk unless you have someone like Teddy Atlas or someone on there. That's what Roger said.
Oh, wow.
I sent it to Teddy.
It.
Teddy was like, oh, wow, cool. Because Teddy didn't know him. They never met. But that was really
right.
That was really
yeah,
cool.
That's awesome.
He said he knows people speak their mind. So
the big question for you is how do bettors use all this public info to their advantage and try to lay some smart futures? Is there such a thing as some smart futures?
Very good. The last thing you said was perfect.
Hey!
Is there such thing as... I was just going to say it.
I feel like I'm your proud student.
Is there such thing as smart futures? Listen, is there... Yeah, when I could take, 35 to 1 on Tom Brady or on Tampa when no one knows he's going to the game, to the team, inside stuff like that. When I get inside word or something like that, yeah, then there is. If I really shouldn't say that, because if you like a team and you maybe think that maybe a Rodgers is coming to the Jets, and maybe you'll actually go and search all the different sites. Not now that it's public information and it's out there that they flew, and if you can get the best line. Yeah, maybe it shouldn't be so much so.
Right.
30 to 1, and you can grab a 30 to 1 when now it's going to go down to 12 to 1.
Right.
Or 18 to 1.
But that's usually your argument against it is that the number, even though it seems like a high number to Joe Public, it's not the right number, right?
Not.
If it's 12 to 1, it should be 20 to 1
at
or
least.
whatever. Right.
At least.
Right.
So, but maybe in this situation, it could be. You look at the college basketball championship, to win it all in the big dance here. I mean, come on, these odds are so low. There's like 10 teams, 9 to 1 or less. I mean, that's so stupid. I mean, who would bet that? The money line parlay thing is one of the things I like. We'll talk about that.
So
later.
are the Jets 10 to 1 now, or it's plus 1,800 to win the Super Bowl?
Plus 18 to 1 to win the Super Bowl. You can get them about. I've seen 20 to 1.
I kind of like
Circa
that.
has 20 to 1. Not the Super Bowl, no. You want to bet them to win maybe AFC? I've seen 15 to 1. So that's a better bet than to win the Super Bowl at 20 to 1. Yeah, so, all right, go on to big topic number 2, because this is a big one. We had a guest.
Wow, this is crazy. O'Day Osborne sat in the chair right there a week ago.
Now, to be fair, because I have some people come at me on this, too, and you don't know.
Because it didn't end the way he said.
Well, he didn't, and he said, listen.
He said puncher's chance.
Probably shouldn't win, but it's a puncher's. At that odds, it's a puncher's chance. And people come on and say, oh, no, wait a minute, he could be a puncher's chance. If I listen to every single athlete, and for the most part, yeah, they usually be right. But you have to decipher it and take the nuggets of information and think, wow, is that part the reason why you like the bet or not? Because, okay, I've said it on the show many times. I've said it across multiple platforms. These guys that are on ex-players, retired athletes and stuff, they're on picking things and telling who they like. They don't win. They can't win. They can't win on gut feel. But if you could pick little nuggets of wisdom out of what they say and say, well, that is right, so that is why I'm betting them, and not just blindly vanilla follow them. And that's what I mean. Good job, O'Day, talking about like that.
Now, let me ask you this.
Did she win easily, or I didn't watch the fights?
Yes, she won easily.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine laying 9 to 1 on a favorite and not knowing you're dead.
And choked her out.
Oh.
Yeah. And so here's the crazy thing. So she's the underdog in the rematch already.
Wow.
So
well, she should be.
But
not that much.
If she's already done it once, doesn't it make sense?
I think maybe the when that kind of situation happens, normally the favorite overlooked her a little bit, and maybe she'll do things differently. She'll train differently.
Right.
It's hard to beat someone twice.
True.
In 3 times. Any sport, by the way.
Especially someone of that caliber.
Yeah, it's hard to beat someone twice. So good.
Yeah.
John Jones, my
John
God.
Jones, I got this one right.
You did.
I went on, the Schmo. You know who the Schmo is. I commented that he posted something with Rampage Jackson. He was asking Rampage what he thought of the fight.
Right.
And I made a comment and I said, John Jones by mauling.
Wow.
It won't even look competitive.
All the wise guys were on the dog there, John. You were against everyone. You were against the world.
Yeah.
And you got the money there for sure.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even at fight time, that fight kept dropping lower and lower and lower odds. And like plus 140 when they were in the ring, entering the ring was the best you could have got.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, 8 hours before the fight, you could have got plus 155. It's
crazy.
160.
It was exciting.
Literally.
I was there. It was unbelievable. It was a great card, and we got a little treat in between fights. Jake Gyllenhaal is making the remake of Roadhouse.
He looks sick.
He looks like he could step into the cage tomorrow. I mean, well, he did step in.
Yeah.
They filmed some stuff It was pretty exciting that he walked out. He just walked out. Yeah. It was kind of fun to be a part of all that. And then since we're talking about numbers, Bill, my record now against producer Rob has climbed to 7-0 in picking UFC fights.
King Kong has nothing on you, Robert. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean 7-0.
Just buried.
Right.
Buried.
That's unusual. Robert, he's no dummy when it comes to certain sports.
No, he's not.
I thought the UFC was his sport.
No, I have the flag in that ground.
We have the GoDaddy site, betagainstrobert.com. Excellent. We're good. We're secure.
Oh my God, that's
just for
good
UFC
stuff.
Anyway. Good stuff.
Speaking of good stuff, March Madness is your time to shine, Bill Krackomberger. Those of you watching, if you haven't downloaded the CrackWins app on Apple or Google Play, or just go to the website, crackwins.com. I don't know what you're waiting for. This guy crushes March Madness.
Well, there's a lot of good things we have planned here. A lot of good first half stuff, and I like first half on against these marquee teams. We're going to talk about that a little more with our guest Jason. Good stuff. Golf, literally, golf matchups. Big tournament this weekend. The PGA, the Masters coming up. I'm going to the Masters this year. Masters in Hilton Head. Going to those both tournaments. So that should be a fun couple of weeks. Looking forward to it.
When are those? Is that
first week in April?
Okay.
Yeah, first week in April, second week in April is Hilton Head.
Well, so you're leaving soon.
I am. I'm not going to be going to Jersey like I was planned to do for the first round of March Madness. I'm staying in town, going in the second, or going in actually for like the Sweet 16. So doing that, doing a little Florida. I'm doing literally Myrtle Beach, Florida, Augusta, Hilton Head, back to Vegas.
Tell me we're going to have Casey Kerr back on the show.
I talked to Casey last night.
I really like when we have him on. He makes me a golf fan.
You may be real happy at something. I'm not going to say it yet.
Okay.
I may have a nice golfer on tap here.
Really?
A multi-millionaire golfer coming on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How about the teaser from Krackomberger?
Matter of fact, he's probably worth like $50 million.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so he may come on with us.
Do we get any hints?
No.
No hints. Is he on the Live Tour? No, he's not on that. So he's on PGA. He's
Tour.
PGA royalty. Is that fair to say?
He is.
Has he ever had a green jacket?
No.
Okay, no green jacket.
No green jacket.
All right, that's good enough.
But he's been
All
close.
Right.
Last year he was close.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah. I'm staying with his caddy, actually, with his caddy and Casey when I get to Augusta. So
really?
I'm going to be staying with a caddy. And staying with Casey in a nice house right there. So
yeah,
cool.
So check out the CrackWins app. It's got betting tips, everything you need. That's going to get you through March Madness. And then after you download that and you become a CrackWins user, definitely head over to WSN before you make any bets from Crack and claim some free money.
I'm going to go there again. I was there this morning, but big bonuses on tap here because it's a push for March Madness. These states are giving away money, man. That's exactly right. So you can go to WSN.com and check out the bonus section first. Listen, I'll go on and on here real quick. Caesars, FanDuel, BetMGM, DraftKings, all $1,000 points bet, all $1,000 or more, and in free bets or bonus money. So that's just the big ones. There's lots more than that. There's little ones that I never really even heard of. SI Sportsbook's another one. Sugar House, Tipico. Some they all have 200, 100, 200, 250. They're all pushing these bonuses in all these states. Also, you got WSN for all the articles on everything from handicapping, from all of our podcasts are on there, promo codes, latest picks. I like the section, of course, that tells you what's going on gambling-wise in all the states. You have it's called the U.S. Sports Betting News down in the middle of the site, talking about Georgia, Washington, Nebraska, Massachusetts, all these articles on what's going on in these states and gambling. And again, there's nowhere you're going to get those casino bonuses and sportsbook bonuses. They have negotiated some of the best things for you guys out there. You can get better prices here, better bonuses here than you can get at some of the sites, though. WSN.com for all your gambling needs. Thrilled to have our guest on today. Buddy of mine who I was on his podcast, and listen, not a lot of people I can talk about that know the sports betting game and media. So I'm really happy. I could spend the entire show going through his bio too. He's the host of the Straight Fire podcast, who I just listened to this week's. That's a Great name, Straight Fire. That's exactly what it is. Also, co-host with The Herd. I watched that also this morning with Colin Coward. Biggest radio show in the country, by the way, if you guys don't know about that. Co-founder of The Big Lead, and he has been in the gambling space literally before 99% of the people were in the gambling space. Please welcome to Wise Kracks, Jason McIntyre. Jason, thanks for coming on with us, buddy.
Geez, can I hire you to introduce me everywhere I go? I mean, goodness gracious.
I mean, it's only true that, listen, there's not a lot of people I don't want to sound like that, John. There's not a lot of people I get pumped up for on the show. We've had 100 and some guests on the show.
Yeah.
So, and we've had big names like Jason. So.
Yeah. When I saw it in the group chat yesterday, I got warm and fuzzy. I was like, nice, get.
Who's that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
he knew.
That crazy Jets fan?
He knew right away. But so listen, I know, like, I'm from New York and New Jersey. I grew up in North Jersey, really, and grew up on the Jersey Shore boardwalks my whole life. But gambling was always like a rite of passage for me. And growing up, did you get the gambling bug at a young age, or I know you said you were only in like Queens until you were a couple of years old. But how did you get into this space?
So I'll never forget. I was at James Madison University, getting ready to turn 21, and we're thinking, what are we going to do for the birthday? And my mom happened to work in the hotel industry and had a connection where you could get a massive discount at hotels around the country. And I was like, can you get me the hotel discount in Vegas? So a couple months after we turned 21, me and a buddy go out there to Vegas. And it just so happened it was like college basketball season. I think it was February after I turned 21. And, we just go bonkers gambling on sports, blackjack. I mean, we were playing a little roulette, which I know is like the dumbest game. But hey, we were 21. And it's funny because we come back from Vegas, we go back to college, and it's like the NCAA tournament, and we're like, we got to get down on some games. And that's what we started, really. College basketball was what was kind of my gateway in. And, you come out of college, obviously I'm on the East Coast. It's tough to bet. Yeah, Atlantic City, which we'd go to every now and then.
Sure.
But really it ramped up after I had started the Big Lead website. And I noticed whenever we would post about gambling, this is 2007, 8, 9.
Sure.
The reaction, the clicks would be massive. And I'd be like, damn. So we started a weekly gambling thing during the NFL season. And it just kept getting big. And then I get to Fox in 2016. And I said to them, I was doing a TV show then, Speak for Yourself. And I was like, guys, we're missing a big window. And the first segment we did on Speak for Yourself was Good Bet or Bad Bet. I think it's the first TV gambling segment on any cable network. We beat ESPN to the punch. It was pretty awesome at the time. And I went to Fox Digital, and I was like, guys, why don't we do college football picks, NFL picks on video? Another way to monetize, get clicks. And it started picking up. And basically, since I've been at Fox, I've been doing a lot of gambling stuff. And, the timing was pretty fortuitous, as now it's legal almost everywhere except in this wretched awesome state of California.
California doesn't have sports betting. It's unbelievable, Jason. You're right about that. They're missing out so much tax dollars. It's that old Indian casino thing, Proposition 26, 27. And you're right. They're missing out so much. But by the way, in case you don't notice, but you might, boy, I'll tell you, all up and down the coast, from San Fran all the way down to San Diego, all those coast towns, you wouldn't believe, John, I'm telling you, how much gambling, how much sports betting goes on. There's bookmakers all over. Yeah. There's bookmakers. Every year I go to Del Mar, there's 10 bookmakers there. There's bookmakers all over. So that shows me there is a demand. And I'm not really an L.A. guy, but L.A., there's a demand for sports betting in L.A., I'm sure.
Yeah, right? For sure.
Yeah. Am I right, Jason?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I don't know who's watching. You never know when the IRS is getting involved, but you got to keep it above board, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just say that.
Of course. No, of course. Listen, Jesus, if you know it's funny. I just made my quarterly IRS payment yesterday to the government. So
that had to hurt.
It does, because it's ridiculous. But I had a couple good years here, so I just you have to pay. That's all. So I think they're pretty happy with that. Me being a newspaper guy, a magazine guy, I used to write for. By the way, my school was literally, thank God, somehow I graduated 12th grade. There was no school after that. But I got pretty lucky, though, in the gambling thing, in the space early. I used to write for a couple online websites about gambling. And then I was writing for a major newspaper on gambling. And then magazines. I've written some aggravated gambler columns, and real lucky. And of course, now, like you said, it's fashionable. It's kind of social. Everyone talks about it now. But let me ask you, do you think, in your opinion, Do you think now it's everyone talking about it, Jason, not just you and I? You started out, like you said, 2016 talking about this. Now there's so many people out there talking about it. I have to be honest with you. I think a lot of it's bad information. A lot of it's terrible information.
That's a good point. Recently, I had a buddy send me a link to a TikTok, and he's like, "Have you seen this guy? He's on a tear." And I see like it's a TikTok link, and I click on it, and I'm like, it's just some jabroni talking about, "Oh, you got to take this team."
I love that word.
I love that word. I love that word, jabroni. That's what it is.
I had to stop. I was like, listen, man. Anybody can get hot for a couple days, a week, a month. Every single person who's ever played baseball, basketball, football, gambled, math tests, whatever. Everybody's gotten hot at some point in their life. Golf game, tennis. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
I don't want to see the videos about TikTok.
Me either.
Some guy,
I'm the chosen one.
Influencer.
Yeah. I don't want to hear it.
I can't get into that.
You're right.
Listen, hot streak's great. And you know what? You're going to probably start tailing the guy just as he's cooling down, because he's only going to talk when he's hot. And then you're gonna just lose a ton of money.
Oh, so you're gonna get killed.
We all have our good streaks and bad streaks. I love March Madness right now, so I'm getting prepared. The last 2 weeks have been rough for me. End of the regular season, I have not been good. I don't know what the hell's going on. The variance. I'm sure you're doing the great first half plays, Bill. You know you've been doing this a long time.
I do.
Okay?
I'm a first half guy. Very good. And we're going to talk about that.
I would agree, but it looks to me like obviously the books are hip to this. And they're making it a little tougher, although I will say as we record this, Richmond hit for me earlier. Spiders, go Spiders. But the first half strategy, first thing I woke up this morning out here in LA, I'm looking, it's like 12 first halves. Tomorrow's going to be another 15, 20. Yeah. It's getting crazy. But yeah, I mean, listen, tried and true methods work. Obviously, you've got to pivot and evolve as the books do as well. But yeah, overall, I would say just be careful who you trust out there.
That's right.
Anybody who says they're hitting 75% this season,
I love it.
Anyone says they're hitting 60%. I agree, John.
Jason, to double down on what you just said, you said any jabroni could get hot when it comes to sports betting. I am living proof that you are correct. You should not trust the average jabroni. I don't know if you know, I ended up on the Colin Cowherd show not too long ago because this jabroni here didn't know what fighter to pick when it came down to Conor versus Floyd. And I think we even have a little clip that Travis is going to run. That's me on Colin Cowherd.
Wow.
I ended up in a diaper, Jason. So you're right. Don't listen to the average jabroni. Should listen to people like you and Bill Krackomberger for sure. Okay,
hey,
Trav,
John,
you can take that
that's
off.
Nice.
You're in a diaper.
You like how I connected all that,
No,
Bill?
that was
it
great.
was a good segue. But a serious question. Lamar Jackson, why aren't the Ravens throwing money at him? What's your take on this?
Well, he's asking for the heaven, the earth, the moon, the stars. He wants it all. And I kind of understand where he's coming from.
Sure.
Deshaun Watson is a very good quarterback. He don't have an MVP. I got an MVP award. I'm younger than Deshaun Watson. He got the bag. I want what he got. And I don't think that's an unreasonable ask. The problem is Baltimore is a proud franchise. They won a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer. They won a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco. And they're saying, we're not giving you all the guaranteed money. So, of course, they're coming back and saying, we'll give you more guaranteed than Russell Wilson got, but we can't do fully guaranteed. So, Lamar Jackson's not having it. And listen, you guys know this. All of the best things in life, in my opinion, come from compound interest, right? If you're working out day after day after day, you're going to be in good shape. If you all of a sudden wake up after not working out for 2 years and you just dive in, it's a long uphill climb, whether it's working out, diet, relationships. You meet a girl, you get married, you guys have been together 20 years. There's a lot of invested interest that you have in that relationship. Compound interest matters. And that's why the Jets should be going after Lamar Jackson right now, who's 26 in his prime. You can make him your franchise quarterback for the next 5, 6, 8 years, as opposed to this Aaron Rodgers dalliance where he's just like, oh yeah, I'll jump in for a year and play for the Jets. How do you think that's going to work out? Is he going to be committed to working with the young guys and sticking it out when times get tough? Because, by the way, they will get tough. These are the Jets. So I'm a big believer in compound interest and long haul. That stuff matters. And I would want to get married if I were the Jets to Lamar Jackson right now. The Ravens clearly do not want to pay him, but the Jets have their opportunity. If Rodgers says, I'm just there for a year, and no, I'm not going to show up at OTAs and the optional stuff. I'm not going to go meet with the receivers. I want to live my life. Fine. Have fun. And the Jets should get in the Lamar Jackson business.
Well, you said that on your Straight podcast. I loved it. It was like, I think you called it a sleeper angle. It really is. That's a sleeper angle of him being on the Jets. And the Jets is your team, right, Jason? You like the Jets, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm born in New York, so like an idiot, I picked the Jets.
No. John likes the Jets, too.
I've been saying on this show for a couple years now, bet the Jets. I don't know. They're fun to bet on. And there's always good value, and they surprise people.
They're a big – they're actually
especially last year.
Right now. The last 3 days, they're a giant bet team. They've been bet a lot on a lot of the sports books. I was shocked to see Circa in town today.
Yeah.
I looked at the odds. I was like, 10-1 to win the AFC. It's got to be more than that. 10-1. Circa's got
to win the AFC.
By the way, you could bet the no and lay 15-1, which I'll be honest with you. I know. I don't want to say amounts, but but can you tie up like a $90,000 to win like $5,000? Like,
hypothetically,
win $6,000 for a year. But I tell you what, I don't think the Jets are going to be. I think it's a good lay on a lot of the bet. By the way, a lot of the team, only one team can win the AFC, the NFC. If you have a good amount of money laying the no on a lot of those teams, it's way too low. It's way too low. Let me ask
you about that. The limits I'm sure are not high. And by the way, your money's going to be tied up for
that's right.
What are we looking
a
at?
Year.
10 months?
Yeah, 10 months. And that would be the reason why I wouldn't want to have to tie up like $60,000 to win $4,000. It's just not the 60 means a lot more to me. I could put that in action.
There's an easier way to win $4,000.
Every Super Bowl, I literally every Super Bowl, I'm tying up a ridiculous amount of money on props. So I would have to, just to think of that and think about some different things. You're spot on, Jason. There, I don't know the $4,000 in profit, the 60,000 put out is more to me than the $4,000 in profit, which I'm 99% to make. I mean, even if they get Rodgers. By the way, as you mentioned on your shows. They flew out private, the owner, the coach, all the guys flew out, GM. I would think they're probably really making an active push to get Rodgers there in New York. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, they hire Hackett, the buffoon who screwed up in Denver because he's Rodgers' guy. I don't know. It's just disappointing, man. They have the longest playoff drought in the NFL. We haven't been good since Mark Sanchez was a quarterback with the Jets. He's now a colleague of mine at Fox.
Wow.
It's been a tough go, but maybe we'll talk about let's talk about the NCAA tournament. I'm getting depressed.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Well, you know what? I have a couple things before we let you go. I know you're busy. A couple tips that I was going to give out to some people. I said, you know what? Let's have Jason on for them. And you mentioned it already. So you've probably seen where I said first half. Even today, John, I bet a team. It starts in about 10 minutes, by the way. Air Force game. Air Force +6. All right. I bet a little on that. But I also found a 3.5 here in town in the first half. So I bet that. So the first half is 3 everywhere, but someplace had a rogue number, 3.5. Caesars had 3.5, so I bet it there. But I like betting those first half. It's a pure number. There's no foul, and I said it in the past. We have a lot of fans that don't really know that the things I do like that. So I'd like to say that again. Again, I have lost so many games and winning 39 minutes and getting some garbage fouls on underdog. And I'm betting 60%, 70% underdogs. So I have lost so many games in the last couple of minutes of a game or last minute where I was covering the whole time. So I like playing some of those games in the first half. And, I'll actually bet up to 50% on what I'll bet on a full game. A lot of these teams, they come out, they're pumped up, especially in March Madness now. They're pumped up. These kids have never been there before. It's like their first time, and they come out there and they give it their all for 10, 15 minutes, 18 minutes. And the second half, usually the strength and the seeding and the ranking and the good teams do prevail. Have you worked on that at all? Have you done that at all? You bet some first halves or not really? It's not a fun bet.
Championship week, basically Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think are the 3 days you can bet first halves because you're betting on the team that just played the day prior versus a team that hasn't played yet. So they come in fresher.
That's right.
Maybe they got in a groove in the prior game and they got the W. I'm just now seeing Georgia Tech. I bet the first half. They did not show up. They played great yesterday. Now, of course, the second half, they've come back and they're in a barn burner with Pitt. But they did not cover in the first half. Listen, nothing's fallible. If I can hit 59% on the first half over 3 days, that's a win for me.
Oh, God.
And then you go to the
win.
tournament. But I don't know, man. This is one of those tournaments, Bill.
You said the word variance before.
It's crazy, right? So there's some tried and true numbers historically. If you look at certain numbers at KenPom, their chances of getting to the Final Four and the title game and winning the title are like more significant than any other numbers. The problem is there are like none of those teams that fit in. And the number one team right now, not just in the rankings and KenPom, is Houston.
Yeah.
And listen, I know Houston's a good team. They got some good players.
Sure.
Solid coach. But you look at that schedule.
They're the favorite to win it all. Yeah, I mean,
and the Final Four is in Houston,
yes.
So everything lines up for them. But you just look at the schedule of opponents they played, and I come back to this. Last year, I was in Calcutta. Our group bid the most of anybody on Gonzaga.
Yep.
They lost in the second round. The schedule of opponents they played just not great.
Yeah.
Houston's good. Their defense is going to lock people down. I'm reluctant. Like, I don't know about you guys. I'm a 10 bracket kind of guy.
Sure.
Right. I want to. Not only do I do Calcutta and betting on games, but I love the bracket contest.
Sure.
You bet you go to a bar and you hit on 10 women. There's a good chance one or two are going to give you their number.
Right.
You enter a bracket contest. You enter 10 brackets. It's a better chance that you're going to deliver if you just put in one.
Will you enter 10? You'll enter at least 10 different ones?
I got like local friends brackets, the college buddies, you got the work, you got like the neighborhood. So I'm entering many and then multiple brackets. And then a couple online I do with some friends. But I love brackets. After this, I like the NBA a lot.
Sure.
Betting on the NBA in the playoffs can be a fool's errand. I mean, there's a million games every night, and it's like a marathon. So I'm heavy NFL, college football, and then it's March Madness, obviously World Cup. But after March Madness, I kind of cool out. We got a vacation.
Me too.
2 vacations lined up. It was a good football season.
Yep.
So I'm not going to be gambling. I don't do baseball. I don't. I can't get involved in baseball.
Okay.
So March Madness is kind of where I go big.
That's the end. They do a little vacation, the wife and kids.
Well, wife and kids, and then finally, the wife and I, we're splurging a little bit, making a trip overseas. Should be a good one.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, we're trying to.
Me too, though. Me too. My wife and I are going after the March Madness. We go away for a couple weeks, so that's the big break. You're right. Good deal.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, you know, and I don't really do much in golf. I don't at tennis. I've heard there's some edges.
Yeah,
a buddy of mine, Joe Fortenbaugh, who you guys I'm sure know.
Oh, I know Joe real good.
He likes to talk about tennis.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If I can't find an edge, I'm not just going to tail and put my hard-earned after-tax dollars on some guy betting tennis who may or may not know his stuff.
Listen, I heard something today. I jumped out of my seat. You said, you don't even know. I'm going to tell you now. You told Colin today. Colin gave, was it Phoenix Suns? Someone minus 13.5 or 12.5, 13.
Yeah.
And you were like, whoa. These double digits, I've told you about that. And he admits it. He's like, well, that's what I do. I love when you said that to him. You don't really bet double digits on anything, John. I've preached that all.
Yeah.
How many years now have I preached not laying double digits, especially in the NFL?
Yeah.
How many times? We started out 9-2 picking double digit dogs this year. I mean, it's just so sick. People they love betting these big favorites. And I love that you preach that on nationwide TV, radio, not double digits. It's not just in... It is NBA. It is NFL. They're the toughest two sports to beat, in my opinion, by the way. I don't do NBA sides. I don't know any syndicate or anyone that could beat NBA sides long term. Totals, yes. Quarters, yes. Team totals, certain things. But NBA sides, NFL sides, these are the toughest things to beat. You want to lay double digits now? My God. Great advice for the people, and it's the reason why even now college basketball, you can lay in college football. I'll lay double digits, believe it or not, certain times I will. College basketball, so same thing. People love betting the big dance. They love betting the big names. They love laying these double digits. That's the reason why I like to bet some of these teams early in the dance, because I can get that first half extra value, because who's coming to town to bet, Grand Canyon first half, whatever, first half. So I really appreciate you preaching that, because, as a viewer, I like to see that. I don't like to see all these guys picking favorites and just picking names out of a hat. So you've been around. You know the score, my man. Good job.
Yeah, like if I could give you a double-digit seed that I think with the right matchup could win outright, is the team to keep an eye on is Drake. Really, really like that team. Delivered for me in their conference tournament, Missouri Valley Conference tournament. I just keep an eye. I would say Drake, if they're a 12, 13, I would keep an eye. If they have a good matchup, I would look out for Drake.
Nice. That could be like the Loyola of years back, UCLA of years back. This is one of those.
I mean, listen,
sleepers.
It's tough blindly without seeing who they're playing.
Sure.
Maybe they get a nightmare matchup, but that's just a team I had circled. And just for the people who here follow me on Instagram and are saying, wait, Jason, you laid 17 with Houston over the weekend or 2 weeks ago.
Yes,
that is true.
Yeah, you could
Houston Cougars. I thought it was a great spot. They're rolling. I laid the 17, Bill.
Yeah, no, you
They
could.
won by 16, or they did not cover 17 and a half. They won by 17. I laid 17 and a half like an ass clown.
Oh, no.
That's
I
terrible.
broke one of my rules. It
Half
was
a
stupid.
point.
I mean,
And did you hear what he
it's
just?
tough, guys.
The
You see
variance.
Houston, you're like, ooh, this
God.
is tasty. Houston rolled them. They're going to get them.
Oh,
They don't cover by half a point. So not only did I bet a double-digit favorite, but I lost it by half a point.
You'd rather lose by 10. You'd rather have them win by 6.
For sure.
You can be cursing at them,
Yeah.
as opposed to like this free throws at the end.
A foul, just another foul or something. Oh my God. No, good stuff. One last one for Jason.
Backbreaker. I can't even. That's awful.
Idiotic.
Terrible. So I was gonna say Final Four prediction.
Oh yeah, what do you think? Give us a couple teams.
I don't know.
What do you think?
I
That's
don't
tough.
really think I can ride with Houston.
Right. Wow, they're the favorite, John.
I don't love the Purdue guards.
Yep.
I don't know if what seed they'll be, but I kind of like UConn a little bit.
Yep.
UCLA has this big injury to their top defender, Jalen Clark, out for the season, Achilles. Not good, obviously. I kind of like Texas as a bit. Again, I say they're a sleeper. They're going to be a top 3 or 4 seed, but I like Texas. Tough to go against Kansas. Don't love Arizona. I have futures on Creighton that I've wanted to light on fire multiple times. But if you pin me down, honestly, if I told you like the Tennessee Vols are going to win a national title, you would just laugh, right?
Yeah.
It's not happening.
But think about all the teams he just mentioned.
Yeah.
That's why this year is so tough for
It's a major
national.
craft
Listen,
pool.
I'm pulling up. I got one in front of me, a FanDuel in front of me. Houston 5.5 to 1, Alabama 7, Kansas 9, Purdue 9. I mean, all these teams are 9 to 1, 10 to 1. I don't ever remember so many teams in the hunt at like 12 to 1 or lower. 12 to 1 or lower to 7. It's 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9 teams. Come on.
Yeah.
What is Duke, by the way?
Yeah, Duke on this one is, let's see, Duke is 60 to 1 here. So there's a little
60 to 1.
Yeah, Duke is 60 to 1.
Oh, you got his attention now.
On FanDuel.
Well,
anyway,
they had a couple injuries.
Yeah.
But they're starting to peak right now. I think they've won like 7 in a row. They're getting hot. They got a young squad, a lot of freshmen. And I don't know about John Shire. This is his first NCAA tournament, so we'll see. But I wouldn't totally rule out Duke. I hate how they can't shoot the 3. They're not good at shooting the 3, which, in March, I feel like, Bill, and you might agree, you obviously need a great point guard. Kansas State, this kid out of I think the Bronx,
Okay.
Love the Kansas State point guard. But, like, you need a point guard, and I think you need 3-point shooting. And ultimately, Kansas had that last year, which helped with the kid Remy Martin came off the bench in the national title game, was huge. But I don't think.
Don't mind me. I'm just looking at somewhere else because that seems like too high. I think Jason was right. So I had to go. Let me go over to Barstool real quick. Barstool threw me
You
out.
had me at 60 to 1. You know how I roll, Bill.
Barstool threw me out for winning.
Yeah, 60 to 1.
60 to 1 sounds like a
Barstool
favorite to
too.
my ears.
Yeah, no, that's the right odds. Barstool also.
Yeah, there could be some value in that. It's just a really weird season, guys. You look at some of those top teams, and if somebody pinned me down right now, was like, Jason, can you give me 2 reasons why Marquette has any shot of the Final Four? And I'd be like, I don't have any. They're kind of good.
Yeah.
But I don't even think they're the best team in their conference.
Listen, man, this has been great. You gave some good information there too. Really appreciate having you on. Thanks for your time. And this has been, like I said, you could see him. Oh, by the way, he is hosting Coward on. He's doing the show Friday.
Yeah, try not to get fired.
Okay. Yeah, he's hosting the show Friday, so you'll see him on Friday nationwide. We'll be on before that. We'll throw a clip up.
You don't get fired. Maybe it's a spinoff. Maybe this is the catalyst to the spinoff. I'm just throwing it out there.
No, him and Colin are great together.
Yeah.
You guys are great together, man. That's fantastic.
A lot of gambling. The audience seems to like a lot
of gambling.
Yeah.
You guys talk Monday to Fridays. Again, doing the Friday show solo. Great job. And look forward to it. I'm coming back on next year, next football season, and love to have you on the Fox show with us too. Come on, jump on there for a few minutes.
Yeah,
with
man.
us.
Congrats for all your success.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun stuff. Imagine I have old-fashioned parents that are also, by the way, from out of the country. Like, oh, Billy, are you doing? Be careful. Is this legal? What you're talking about? I said, Mom, I just paid $100,000 in taxes this year. Yeah, I think it's legal. I think I'm okay. But it's just so cool. You could talk about it now, and this is his format, my format. I mean, we're real. We talk real stuff. So again, really appreciate you coming on, J-Mac, and look forward to talking to you again.
Thanks a lot, man. Take it easy.
Thanks.
He was great.
Yeah. No, J-Mac, big.
Yeah.
His
rhythm, everything.
But his entire everything he's doing for media is growing and growing and growing. I mean, he's hosting Colin Coward show by himself, the biggest radio show in the world. He's hosting it. Biggest sports radio show, I should say.
Do you ever think you'd see the day? I mean, we just talked about it a little bit, but that talking about gambling would be a profitable business.
No, even fashionably.
Yeah.
I mean, you could talk about it. And you don't have to worry about people saying you're a degen. If you said you were a gambler years ago, they would say, "Oh God, this guy's a degen."
This guy.
Yeah,
don't trust him.
It's great,
Yeah.
but it's good to be able to share nuggets of wisdom with people too.
Yeah.
Not just the BS that's out there.
Right.
I mean, the Twitter, Instagram, like Jason said, full of guys talking about these things, and I'm the guy, I'm the real guy. You talk to me. Everyone talking BS, and it's good to have good guys on like that. So good job, guys. We look forward to seeing you guys next week, and we got a big guest next week. Alan Boston coming on with us.
Oh, I love it.
He's been in the studio.
Yeah. He's great. I like Alan.
He really is. He worked for some of the biggest sports betting. Well, I'll just tell you, he worked for the biggest one at one time, Billy Walters. So he's a good guy, and look forward to having him on.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.